What is going on, guys? Panther here, and we are finally back. So, after a 2 month or so hiatus, we have finally made our YouTube return here to the channel. First, let me thank you guys so much for the ones that have stayed subscribed and are staying supporting the channel. Really means a lot. But, just really needed a break from YouTube after having the two Wi-Fi upload leagues right there at the same time together. I really enjoyed my time in P4G Next Generation and of course APA Wi-Fi Season 3. But man, that was real stressful having to upload both of those games there at once at the same time. So as you can see, we are back. You can see we're already in the PBL here. We're going to get into that here in just a minute, but I do just want to give a quick little update about the channel, and then we'll get into the PBL, what exactly it is, how it started, everything like that, and of course our draft analysis. So of course, finished P4G Next Generation. Actually was not able to upload playoffs. We did win our round 1 match, but then ended up losing in round 2, the semifinals, to Ultra Player, who went on to win the actual championship. So if we were going to going down to the eventual champion was the best way to go. But anyways, we were able to take out the 2 seed in the first part of the playoffs, and then eventually lose to Ultra in a really good match. Maybe someday I can get those uploaded, but that is a battle for a different time. Anyways, so of course we have APA Season 4, which is a Little Cup, starting very, very soon. Be sure you are following the APA Twitter, because we are currently announcing coaches. A lot of the information is coming through the APA Twitter, when the draft stream will be, when week 1 will exactly be. So definitely be sure to go check out the Twitter channel if you have not already, just so you can stay in the loop about everything APA. That, of course, is still the main league. We are still co-founder of the league with our boy Midicus, and of course co-commissioner with Dan and Tar Heel as well. So we are very involved in it still. We still run APA Showdown as well. Unfortunately, I do not upload that anymore, just with the commitments to APA Wi-Fi and everything like that. It's just a lot. I'm also in a lot of other leagues currently, 7 total. So yeah, I love battling. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and start talking about the PBL now. So the PBL, surprise, I'm actually a commissioner of as well. Me and my boy General Tar Heel actually decided to start this league just for some fun. We wanted some more content uploaded on the channel, our channels, because we haven't really put anything out in the last few months. And yeah, we thought it would be a really good idea. We've talked about this actually in the ACC for a while, just trying to make a really competitive league. And of course, this didn't really turn out to be a competitive thing. We tried to actually make it a little more fun. We actually decided to go with 24 coaches. We put an application out, had almost 50 people actually apply, and then several actually just messaged us as well wanting to join. We filled up very quickly going through the applications. It's not upload required. We did really look at people who were going to, but at least plan on uploading this season. And we're not going to be too strict on that or anything, at least here in Season 1. This is something me and Tar Heel will probably continue, because I know I had a lot of fun drafting. I'm really looking forward to my team this season also. But yeah, so we had 24 teams in the league. We ended up drafting, I think, 7th or 8th overall, so not a bad spot. And really going into this draft, there's only one mon I wanted, really. I wanted that Mega Charizard Y, and you can obviously see my first 6 picks up on the screen. Of course, we ended up getting that Zard Y, so spoilers there. But I wanted to build around it with my first couple of picks, because I knew it wasn't a round 1 material, especially in a 24 team draft. So really going into it, I was like, man, you know what, if Coco falls, it's been so long since we've used Tapu Koko, I want to pick it up for sure. And ended up going like pick 4 overall. A lot of the better mons went, actually. I really didn't know what I was going to go round 1. But I was looking at things like Mew. It ended up going, if Celesteela would have dropped, I definitely would have taken that. Or like Zygarde, but I knew Tar Heel wanted Zygarde. If Big Black, Kyurem Black would have fell to us, I absolutely 100% would have taken that, because Zardwa is such a good breaker for those steel types. And Kyurem Black can kind of just run through the rest from there. But it got down to me, and I'm like, a lot of the top tier stuff's gone. A lot of standard stuff left. So I knew I wanted Florges absolutely in round 2, because I kind of shored up my fairy shored me up an amazing defogger, and I can wish pass if I don't get the opportunity to defog into Zard. So Zard's going to be my breaker here. I knew I was going to have an amazing special attacking breaker, so I wanted a great physical attacking breaker and a rock resist. So I was looking at a couple of different things. I was looking at like Terrakion and things like that, and I was like, man, I just used Terrakion in P4G Next Generation, and while it was really good, it's been a while since I've used my boy Garchomp. So kind of got made fun of for this pick a little bit. They were like, you're kind of stretching for Garchomp here, and I'm like, guys, y'all have not seen a Garchomp used well. This thing is the single season record holder for kills in the APA, and you can see from that nickname up there, it's named after our boy Silver Smasher. Who is the holder of that. It was his Garchomp that set the kill record for Chomp. I think it's 26, I want to say, and APA Wi-Fi Season 3. So he ravaged things with it, and a well-played Garchomp is nothing to play with. Amazing speed tier, 102 speed. I think it's 130 attack off the top of my head, I do believe. Let me go over here to Showdown real quick. Yeah, 130 attack, awesome HP at 108. And as you can see, very good defenses across the board, 95, 85. But I really liked the speed tier that it hit. Gave me something over base 100 speed that I can slap a choice scarf on and use as my late game cleaner. This thing can do so many things well. Spoilers, it is a Z-Mon for me. So it's going to be able to run things like Fire MZ or Poison MZ. If I wanted just to break, I can use Dragonium or Groundium. So a number of different things that I can actually do that this guy can just absolutely wreck in. Not sure what the Z Sandstorm does off the top of my head, but you know, if I can actually use that to get a boost, like Z Sandstorm plus like SD, I don't know if it works that way, but that would be really cool. Like some type of like double dance chomp, that would be pretty nasty. This thing's also a very good defensive check to some things as well, like if you want to run like Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin. So, you know, a lot of different things you can do with Chomp here. Also can set your Stealth Rocks. It can be bulky and just kind of drag and tail things out, phase things around. Has a usable special attack stat, so I can use things like Fire Blast and things like that. Overall, a very, very good mon, and one I'm very excited to be able to use. So hopefully I make them regret saying that this was a bad pick here. But so obviously we have Garchomp. We've already talked a little bit about Florges here. We have Tario, our Florges, as you can see from our first two nicknames, Tario and Smog. Big Lord of the Rings fan, so decided to go with it. Magirna was Tario back in APA Season 6 where I won a championship, so kind of continued that here. But really felt like Florges just paired well with Zard and Garchomp here. Obviously, kind of completes our cores with that Dragon and Fairy. But I needed a defogger for Zard. I needed a cleric just in case these guys get parried or burned or anything like that. Or I can wish pass back into these guys. So that's what I really wanted to focus on. I considered Sylveon, but I valued the defog more. I wanted to pick up a defogger. I had a plan for my lower tiers, and it really didn't involve another defogger. You can see that we got a very good one in Empoleon later. But I did not plan on Empoleon at all. I wanted a bulkier water type, like a Suicune or something like that. But I'm just kind of dreaming if I was thinking I was getting that. Anyways, just more about Florges here. It can do a couple of other things. I've seen offensive sets work like Scarf, or like even Calm Mind and stuff like that. It can set screens, but it does its job very well at what it does. It can run Synthesis, so if I don't want to wish pass, I still have the Sun that I can potentially come in and take advantage on. Not very useful abilities in Flowerville and Symbiosis, but that is what it is. But as you can see, a very good Pokemon as far as bulk goes. 78 HP isn't great, and of course 68 defense isn't, but you can really invest and really bulk that up quite a bit here, because it doesn't really need any Spadef investment. So most of the time it's going to be defensive invested just to live hits, but Spadef wise, it's going to sponge any type of like Ice Beam or anything like that, or Thunderbolts, Volt Switches, whatnot, because again, I kind of planned on some other things to give Garchomp some relief from electric types, because Volt Switch plus HP Ice coverage against my team, you know, just looking at it right here, looks really, really good, so I know how to shore that up. But emergency situation, I could bring in the Florges on something potential like that. But enough about Florges here. We're going to jump into the Pokemon I'm most excited for, and that is Mega Charizard Y. So disgusting stats across the board here. 78 HP is nothing to get excited about. 104 attack is usable. It gets access to Dragon Dance and Swords Dance as well. So if I wanted to be cheeky one week, I definitely could. Um, but yeah, that 159 special attack in the sun is nothing to mess with. This thing firing off Fire Blast in the sun is just going to be disgusting. And that 100 speed is nothing to scoff at either. It's going to outspeed quite a few things. Obviously, there's a lot that outspeeds it, but Zard is really just meant for wall breaking, and that is exactly what it is going to do here this season. So my plan at this point, these were really the only mons I had kind of planned out. Not necessarily Chomp, but Florges, yes. I knew I wanted a good dragon there turn the first round. Like I said, I was looking at like KB and things like that. But I had my big physical breaker, I've got my big special breaker, and I've got a support mon. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do with this next pick. I knew some low tier things that I wanted, things like Rotom Cut, things like that. But this mon was a tier 2 mon and actually came back up to me. Very, very surprising that this mon came up to me in a 24-team draft in the 4th round. So, like, God, 24 times 3 plus, like, 20. So that's, like, almost 90 picks right there. Maybe a little over 90. Conch Elder came back up to me. A tier 2 Conch Elder at that. And I was like, I haven't ever used this thing. And now is the right time. This gives me another rock resist. And just a very, very scary mon. Overall, I mean, this thing gets access to priority with Mach Punch. It can run like a Guts bulk up set, but it has 3 very good abilities in Guts, Sheer Force, and Iron Fist. Yeah, this thing is an absolute monster. I used Timber in the Little Cup season, season 1 of APA, so you guys definitely weren't around for that, and it's not up where on my channel or anything like that, but it was a monster. It was a monster, to say the least. This thing gets the elemental punches for coverage, knock off, poison jab. It hits amazingly hard. I mean, you can see these other moves here. It gets some special moves. You're never going to run those. You're really just going to run either the bulk up set or like some type of like drain punch, Mach Punch set, and just wreak havoc with this 140 attack. This thing hits harder than Mamoswine. Sorry, I got choked up there a little bit. But this thing's an absolute monster. It doesn't really have a fighting type move that hits that hard other than that hammer arm. And it doesn't get access to like close combat, the coveted close combat, so to speak. But Guts Drain Punch is going to hit amazingly hard. And things like Iron Fist boosted Mach Punch or like Sheer Force Elemental Punches are just going to hit that much harder. So I can really tweak this thing each week to fine tune it to my matchup, to see which punches are going to do the most damage to my opponent. Really excited about this mon too, because I really didn't think I was going to end up getting it. So with my wheel here, so to speak, so every 2 picks here, I got kind of pair things. So Tariel and Smog went together, Samson and Daddy Pip here going together. 1 or 2 short, my steel type. All the steel types were going so quickly. I didn't really have too many options left. So I wanted to take the opportunity and just grab Empoleon. Gave me a good water type, because that's right, the water types are going as well. Because I was looking at things like Suicune and like Primarina, like Keldeo, things like that, and they were just all getting zapped up. So I was like, Jellicent went before Empoleon here. I'm trying to think what else went, like Blastoise, like everything was going. I was like, I just need to go ahead and snag my water type. This gives me another Stealth Rocker. I'm not forced to bring rocks on Chomp, and it gives me another Defogger as well. So I just need to go ahead and do it, get it over with, because this is such a good value pick at tier 3. Gives me a great answer to Ice Beams and Ice Punches as well to kind of pair with Chomp, since it times 4 resist. Of course, it is weak to ground and electric as well. So like I said, it kind of adds to my Volt Switch HP Ice weakness. But I don't want to say I'm not afraid of like Earthquake spam, because I have the immunity there in Smog, and if they click Earthquake and let Smog in, most of the ground types are slower, and most of the ground types are offensive. They're not living a Fire Blast in the sun anyways, so they've really got to play careful with that, because if I can predict it and get my Zard in, I'm burning something up. But this one's very straightforward. It has some cool sets like the Agility Weakness Policy, like Defiant set. But most of the time you're going to see this mon doing just a few things. It can toxic things. It's going to be roaring things out. It's going to be setting up rocks, or it's going to be defogging. So this thing's a very reliable Pokemon here, and got to name it Daddy Pip after General Tar Heel's Pip Empoleon that crit Hugo back in season 7 of APA. So this hopefully will get some laughs from Hugo. All right, so our 6th pick here. So if I'm looking at my team, what I'm really missing, I've got my heavy hitters and I've got my support. Now what I need is a way to bring those guys in. I needed a pivot, and at this point, I think Rotom was gone. Rotom cut. And that's really what I wanted because it gave me another ground immunity, another defogger, and Volt Switch. But decided to go with a Alolan Persian here because the dark types are going so fast. This gave me a great speed tier, so I can run like Scarf Foul Play if necessary. Nothing setting up on it. Very fast taunt user. A lot of things that I love about this mon. And yeah, it can obviously do the parting shot also, which is what it's really known for. So parting shot, bringing those big threats in with that minus attack and special attack is just going to be so key. Because like those flying types come in. I'm sorry, not flying. Like those fighting types or fairy types come in to check it. I can pivot right out into Chomp, or pivot right out into Zard and go to destroy something. So excited about this, and this is going to be one of our Z users also for our Z parting shot. So that's our first 6 picks. We had another 5 picks to kind of shore things up here, and we're going to go ahead and show you guys those. So wanted to complete my core, and I just wanted a really fat Pokemon. So this guy was tier 3, and I really felt like it was going to be a good value to pick up. A lot of the grass types were gone, minus like tier 2 Shaman, and I just really wanted to use Shaman again. Love Shaman, but it's been a while since I've used Geist, and very big fan of the shiny form of this guy. And I remember Mega Maguire using it a lot when I was in his front office, so I had to name it 2 Spook for you. Got a really good ability here in Frisk also, can just tell what item. So if you want to scout, you can just bring it in, and it's going to pick it up. But Gourgeist is a very good mod. This isn't even super. This is just Gourgeist. Yeah, there's super. Let's get the super stats on right here. 85 HP, 100 attack, so very usable, and then that 122 defense. This thing is going to be able to eat hits for days. So very excited. This mon's pretty straightforward. Also, it does one thing well: burning things and synthesizing back up, or like toxicing them, leech seed. Pretty straightforward again, but it does its job very well. I feel like it really paired well with like a Alolan Persian and things like that also. So we talked a little bit earlier about how we wanted to snag another ground type so people couldn't just spam HP Ice against us. So I figured now would be the time to grab one of the best tier 5 Pokemon in my opinion, being Piloswine. Now hindsight's a little 20/20 on this because there was another mod that I needed a little bit more. But this gave me, again, another Stealth Rocker, good priority with Ice Shard also. And yeah, this is just a really reliable bond with the Eviolite Thick Fat. Just a very reliable mod. So again, pretty straightforward what this thing does. It sets up rocks and it's fat and it sits in there. It takes hits and it provides that immunity for electric types. So I'm not weak to that. Like I said, Volt Switch, HP Ice spam. And that's what I was really trying to avoid with Garchomp as my only ground type. So they can't just choose HP Ice and get away with it. Because if I bring Piloswine here, that's not going to be doing anything. So if I've got like a Jolteon that I'm facing, it's not going to be able just to slap that on there and do work to my team. So again, this mon's pretty straightforward. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. But it's very good and very reliable at what it does. So here's where Snipe City happened for me. The draft had went pretty good so far. There was a few snipes like the Rotom Cut like I was talking about. So I really wanted an electric type after Rotom Cut had went. I was thinking, well, Electros is tier 2, but I guess I'll take it. And then I had Musharna down in, I'm sorry, Electros is tier 3, so I guess I'll take it. And then I had Musharna down in tier 5 that I wanted, or Necrozma or Cresselia from tier 1. All of those actually went the same round, so it really messed up my plan because I was going to go either Necrozma or Cress, and then Electros, and then I was going to feel amazing about my draft. Well, Then all of those went, and I was like, well, I need an electric and a psychic type. And there was no psychic types left on the board except like Beheem. So I was like, I can get a better electric type from down there. Oh, I was also going to get like Raikou or Exarchy from Tier 1 also if they made it to me, but of course those were sniped also. So I was like, alright, well, I don't have a rock type for, like, as a fire resist. Right now my fire resist is Garchomp or Thick Fat Piloswine. So I didn't really think too much about this one. I'm just grabbing it hell ago. I know it's a very good and reliable mon. It can stack hazards with Stealth Rock and Toxic Spikes. It's a very good Scarf user with its speed, 103 speed. So it can just come in and kind of clean things up late game. Get some cool tech moves and like knock off an Acid Spray also. Pretty familiar with this mon. Using it in PMU Wi-Fi right now. And it's like second on my team in kills. So pretty comfortable with it. It's a very, very good mon though overall. Has a really high SPDEF stat, really low defensive stat. But as you can see, very good stats across the board. And has, like I said, a lot of cool tech, good ability, and beast boost. So I was pretty comfortable with spending a late round pick here on it. Excited about my next mon though here. I've got my Lantern with two amazing abilities, Volt Absorb and Water Absorb. So kind of compare it each week to the matchup. Some good stats. That 125 HP definitely gives a huge boost to any type of stat I want to invest in. And this mon isn't really for getting kills, but it's just for coming in and pivoting. Very, very good mon at that, I feel like. And gives me another good ice resist for Garchomp. Of course, it is weak to ground, just like Empoleon is. But, you know, we can kind of shore that up. And then, finally, we have my final pick here. And that is Honchkrow. Just sheerly because there wasn't anything left in Tier 3. I didn't really have a Brave Bird user, so to speak. But this thing can be really good with Brave Bird and like Sucker Punch spam. Gives me a Pursuit user, and of course I can bring some cool stuff with like Super Luck and Scope Lens. Of course the Moxie set's very good also. Gets good coverage moves like Heat Wave for like Ferrothorn and things like that. And gives me another Defogger if absolutely necessary. So guys, really, really happy to be back recording. We're going to be uploading on Fridays, so week 1 will go up next Friday. So be sure to check it out. APA Wi-Fi coming soon again though, guys. And again, thank you so much for the people that have stuck with us. Oh, and you know what? Let me give one more shout out here to Kurt for making the graphics for the leak, and then Oz for making the logo. So both of you guys did an awesome job on everything. So just wanted to recognize you guys both here in this video. So glad I remembered. But anyways, guys, that's it for me tonight. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you.